I want to share something. So a year or two ago, I was hanging out with my friend Lily, and I wish I could remember the situation because I think it would be a better story, and I won't go too far into the story. But we were having a conversation, and I misunderstood something because I took her words really literally, and I think she was speaking metaphorically, and we kept going until it became apparent that I didn't understand. And in that moment, I didn't even know what I wasn't understanding. I just knew that she was thinking that I don't know what she was thinking, but I experienced this moment of, oh my God, I don't understand something, and I don't know what I don't understand, and someone could get mad at me any minute, and I don't know what to do. And it's this feeling that was really familiar to me. It felt like a bit of a deer in the headlights. I could see my eyes getting bigger. A deer in the headlights moment of, oh fuck, there I am again. And Lily's a very generous person, and she loves me and she likes me. And so she went into a process with me of taking a look at what was going on. And I realized even more than I had before in that moment how incredibly literal minded I am, and that I really don't understand metaphors almost ever. I mean, some of them are so used, like flowing on the river of life, that I know what that means. But I often really don't know what it means, and all I see is the very literal picture in my mind of whatever someone is saying to state their metaphor. And that's okay with me in social situations for the most part if I know that I'm misunderstanding something, and I can say, hey, wait a minute, I didn't quite get that, I literal minded here. But quite often I don't get something and I don't even know I'm not getting it because I don't even realize. For instance, my friend Allison wrote to me the other day, and she asked me to come help her with some things, which made me so happy. I could be useful, yay. And some of them were clutter clearing her home, which I'm super good at, and some of them were some tech things of some things she was putting together in her business. And so she was just kind of making a little bullet point list of a couple of the things. And she said a couple of times, I just don't have the bandwidth for this. And I absolutely thought that meant that she needed a new router and possibly a new adapter, depending on how old her computer was. And I proceeded to go online and do a whole bunch of research, and took a couple hours and went to a store and talked to them about, the equipment that she could get and what it would take and all of this stuff. And then I very happily got back to her with all my findings, and she was lovely. She wrote back and she put those, those smiley faces where you're crying because you're laughing so hard. She said, I meant emotional bandwidth. I had no idea. I mean, I really had no idea. And in this instance, it was funny, and I don't mind knowing techie things, so it was not upsetting, for me to put the time into that. But there's the thing, is that I didn't have any clue, not even a little clue, that I was misunderstanding. And when that happens in situations and conversations where I'm actually talking to someone, and then suddenly the conversation goes in a direction that isn't at all like I get confused and kind of panicky. And I have met in my life this pejorative response of, come on, Tiara, which I interpret as, you know what I'm talking about, stop pretending. And that's when I get that panicky feeling. So ever since that conversation with Lily, I've been thinking about it, and I've been looking at it, and really noticing that there are some things that I am not especially socially adept with. And I was at another friend's house who was selling some. I was helping her sell some stuff online, and we weren't putting on her treadmill because someone else was going to buy it. But then he hadn't gotten back to her in like 2.5 or 3 weeks. I said, let's just put it online. And she said, no, I have to wait for him. And in my, like I think in this kind of logical manner a lot of times, and I'm like, well, if he hasn't gotten back to you and he's not responding, then he doesn't want it, or he doesn't get it anymore. Let's just do it because we want to get this thing accomplished of selling this stuff. She goes, no. I said, why? And this is another generous friend I have who actually took the time to share and explain to me the social dynamic of her position with that person who was a colleague and how that might reflect on her with his colleagues and what standing that might put her in a social situation. You know, it was this whole larger milieu of social awareness and interaction and appropriateness that I really, really didn't know about. And, you know, again, you know, I have this quick mind, this quick brain actually that goes tick, 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 tick. And I could almost see all of these things where I would have been inappropriate or awkward or downright rude to people who have all of that social awareness, aren't expecting me to. So with all of this in my awareness and watching myself operate, I went online the other day and I thought, maybe I'm in the Asperger's spectrum. Like, you know, I have this thought that's younger people than me. I thought, well, what the fuck? I'm younger than me anyway. So I took this online test, which I know it's not diagnostic, and I know it's online, blah, blah, blah. And apparently if you answer all these questions, and I could even tell by the questions, you know, the areas where I was going, uh-oh, I don't think this is how other people operate, maybe. The scoring was that if you're above 33, you're considered to have I think it was Asperger's. I don't remember if it was autistic or Asperger's. I think it's Asperger's. If you're 30 to 33, you're in the spectrum. And I got 29. So I was not considered in the spectrum, but I am definitely rubbing up against it, kissing it, you know, like having a little taste of that. And so I'm making this video to come out and say, I don't know, what am I saying? Hey, love me anyway. That's what I'm saying. And then I'm also saying, let's love everybody anyway. You know, let's take a look. Let's take a look at all the incredible and wonderful and beautiful and magical differences that we all are. And instead of thinking that we should find the way to be the same, to celebrate the difference and whenever possible, take a half a step back from you should be this way, or you shouldn't do it this way, or I should be this way and I shouldn't do it that way, to who am I and how am I operating, and who are you and how are you operating? And yeah, I guess that's what I want to say today. I might say more about this. I actually made a whole list. My computer's over here, and I made a list of all the things that are considered in that whole spectrum, and I thought I might talk about them, but I think this is what I'm saying right now. And I love you, and I love me.